Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. Today's video, I wanted to chat a little bit about taking time off and going away. We have recently been blessed with my dad and my stepmom coming for a visit and uh, willingly and graciously taking care of our kids while at home and writing things down. And oh, I was gonna go get that. I'll be right back. Ha, I got it. So I just want to kind of give some tips for success. If you are like us who don't really have family around. My parents live 12 hours away, and anything that we do has to be planned much in advance. And for a while from COVID, and also my dad had a couple illnesses that he had to deal with first. Those were things that kind of put a kibosh on some of the plans we had made earlier, and this is the first time that it actually kind of worked out. And I can't sing their praises enough for how well it went and how willing they were, because it's not always easy. And if you have a child with special needs, you know that it's a struggle. It's a real struggle that can't be easily fixed or repaired. You can't just call the teenager next door. We have teenage girls, and we are only now allowing them to take care of Darian for an hour or two while we stay in town, but we're certainly not going away. We're certainly not leaving them overnight, mainly because we feel like we do not, if something bad were to happen, we do not want that we don't want that to be a burden that they carry for the rest of their lives. We don't feel like that's a fair thing to ask. When they get to be adults, and hopefully a long time from now, they're able to take over Darian's care, or maybe we could go away for a week or something and they would be able to, but we're not there yet. And I just want them to be able to live their teenage years in relative calm, and they have grace for their brother, and they look after him, and they know how to do that to a certain extent. So it's not like they're not taking responsibility or anything, but we just feel like it's very much an adult thing to be, okay, and now you're responsible for if he elopes. Thankfully, he hasn't done that in a really long time. Knock on wood. But it's just something that we were like, the adults need to look after him. So tips for success: if you are looking at, or you have an adult in your life who's willing to look after your kids or your special needs child while you are away, the big thing is the manual. I wrote that this is the DAFO code. I don't know why. I just wrote it as that. But I literally spent the whole time making sure that I wrote literally there's papers in there that I wasn't looking at. Darian's life, that's what I wrote, starting at the very beginning of his day. Oh, that went flying. I need to glue that in. Starting at the very beginning of his day, his breakfast one, what does that look like? How do we cut his cheese so that he will accept it? How do we put his plate together? Like, all of the details, not just a few of the details, all of the details. Anything that they might happen. So one of the things is, if the weather turns windy, Darian will find a plethora of items to let fly freely across the road and into the bushes. I talk about that on my videos all the time, but it's something that when, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm like, don't even worry about it. I will clean up the yard when I get home. Not a big deal, but just for you to know, so that you're not going, oh no, there's a mess. Also, hide your money. Do not leave it out, because he will throw that aside. What kind of candies he can have. Um, yeah, Darian, when he uses the washroom, he does not close the door. He does not lock the door. He leaves the door open. He does not like the light on. So I was telling them, don't be surprised that you might walk into somebody who has no shame, he's like Adam in the garden. There is no, so don't be surprised by that. It took me probably a month. Julia, sorry, our neighbors are outside. Um, yeah, there was so many things. Like, it took me a month capacity because my brain was so done to write this book, because I was like, okay, what else am I forgetting? What else am I forgetting? And I did write it on this page so that anything that I did remember as time went on, I could put in. So on the off chance he was demanding an outing, because I was like, let's not take him out just to give you space, in case he was having a more difficult day, because it's not like he telegraphs that he's having a difficult day all the time. And yeah, like, I told him where the clothes were and stuff in case he was struggling. This is what you need. And then I was like, oh, right, important. I was like, you need to bring the guardianship papers so that if, like, let's say he stole something and the clerk called the police, you have the note saying that you are the guardianship. And I wrote them a note saying, oh yeah, it's over here. In the tab, there's the guardianship papers, and then I wrote a note saying that my parents were going to be the ones doing it from this date to this date, and we could be reached at these numbers. And I never had to write that letter before, but I was like, and we're gonna do it anyway. So the whole thing was amazing, including the nighttime routine. I had everything. Yeah, his nighttime routine is here. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. Shaving cream. He needs shaving cream in the shower. So it was a really helpful thing to have, because Leanne always had, my stepmom, she had a reference point. She also came a day early, and she walked through. I think she came like one night and then another night. So we were able to, I kind of showed her the ropes the first night, and then the second night it was hard because I do things automatically sometimes, but I could have her, like, I was trying the second night to be like hands off and let her do the nighttime routine stuff or the day stuff, so that she felt a little bit more confident, because she's not here every day to see all of the little bits and pieces that I do or Cullen does every single day, right? So it's so funny to try and like metabolize it into writing form, everything that you do. So that's why I suggest you write on one side of the paper and then have the other side completely free, so that you can go, oh right, I forgot, oh right, don't forget to do this. But it was great. And then I did include some stuff for the girls in this tab. I included tabs because I felt like it's such a long story already. And so I had breakfast routine. I think I had breakfast too, because Darian calls all food breakfast. Or I wrote dinner for Leanne. And then his nighttime routine was a tab, and then the girls' tab was a little fancier one. And then the big tab was the big clip that I included the guardianship papers in this envelope. And we did keep some money and stuff so that Leanne and Dad could buy some groceries, buy Darian's treats and stuff like that. So that takes care of the home issues. Being able to show your person that's looking after your kiddos a little bit more like what you're doing is really, really helpful along with the book. Now for you, if this is the first time you've been away in 15 years like it was for us, it is weird. It is absolutely weird. I was most excited about going, oh, I'm tired and I can just go to bed. But my husband found it very interesting how the silence was weird. Because he was like, our house is noisy, and being in a cabin where there wasn't a lot of noise was weird. And it took a day or a bit for him to go, oh, okay, this is okay. Um, and then there's a bit about trusting those that you have taken the time to trust with your kiddo when it's not a typical thing that you're used to doing. I had complete faith in Leanne. The fact that I called her and was like, Darian's having issues with the curvature of the earth and he's not going to go to bed. You're not going to go to bed until 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 5. um, is a very, very weird thing to say. And her willingness, because I did give her the out. I was just like, are you sure you want to do this? Because I was just like, it was heavy. It's heavy. It's not like when he was 5, the last time we did it, he was relatively easy. Um, this time he's not easy. And I was just so thankful that she was not only willing to come, but she was up for the challenge. My poor dad, he was busy building this, but he can't do the nighttime shift. And so the fact that Leanne was willing and able and was, you know, yeah, like when I came back from this trip, I couldn't do the nighttime shift. It took me about a week. I was like falling asleep all over the place because I had had like a week off where it was just like, oh, this is what rest feels like. And it was so funny to me that like I fell asleep on the couch. I fell asleep on his bed because I couldn't keep my eyes open. And eventually now I'm back into it where I'm like, I totally am able to, but it was funny to me. So I think for success on our side of it is knowing that you have picked well. You've done, like, you would never, ever, ever give your kids to somebody who couldn't do the job. And if you have informed them of all the possible things that could go wrong and they're still willing to do it and you still trust them because you know that they're not going to take it, they're going to take everything that you say very, very seriously. Like they're you know the ones that are going to do a good job and the ones that aren't. You know this intuitively. We had a friend who was going to take the kids to the park when Darian was young, and I told him, I'm like, do not let go of his hand. Like, you can when he's at the park, but you have to have eyes on the whole time. And we were going to follow shortly after, and he leaned down and tied his shoe, and Darian was off like a shot, which meant that I was off like a shot because I was like, yeah, there's no catching him. And you know, you sit there and you go, once you've had that experience once, you're never going to choose somebody who's not going to take what you say seriously. And so I'm so thankful that, you know, you sit there and you go, okay, well, you know, not only have I had that lived experience, but that means that I'm going to choose well when it comes time to actually do. Oh, mosquitoes are coming. My spray is wearing off. But it's something that you have to trust them. Once you place that trust in them, when you are away, you have to trust them. And so with Dad and Leanne, even like I had my phone close in case they had questions or they needed. But if they didn't send me a message, I'm like, they're handling it. They've got this. And so I was able to utilize that time to rest and recuperate. And it's something that I really think, you know, it's a luxury. I'll just say that, having, you know, done the job for 15 years without it, it is a luxury. But it is something that I felt like having the gift of going away for a little bit, if I had spent that whole time stressing, it would have been a waste. And so I'm really thankful that, you can do everything. You can do everything right and prepare right and know that the person you picked is going to be able to handle it. And as long as you are available on your phone, this is a time where you breathe and relax and you take it easy. And so the amazing thing is, and I haven't even told her this, so if she watches this video, this message is for you. We literally looked at this time away as a gift that we were probably never going to have again. It was our experience the last time we tried when Darian was 5 that the person we had do this. And like I said, Darian was a lot easier back when he was 5. You could pick him up and place him where you wanted him to go. And he was more easygoing back then too when it comes to routines and stuff like that. They phoned us the next morning and said, when are you coming back? And they have never offered ever again. So it has not. And then because this was more complicated and more difficult, especially the nighttime routine, I was more than a little surprised when she said, we need to do this again. Leanne, you are amazing. And it's been something to, like, for Colin and I both to wrap our brains around, going, but she wants to do it again? Really? Like, I know she loves her grandson. I know that, but really? So from her perspective, and I appreciate it, from her perspective, it really went well. Darian did accept her. He felt safe with her. There wasn't any, with my dad too, there wasn't any anxiety, which was what I was really afraid of. That he would be like, Mom and Dad are always with me. They've been all with me for 15 years and no one else would do. And with them, it was good and they were able to handle everything and he did not have an anxiety attack over it. So I'm thrilled to bits about it. But it has been a little bit for us to go, we could do this again? What? So, yeah, it's, if you have the opportunity, like I said, we could continue to do it. We literally thought it was going to be a one-off. We had to enjoy those times. And I think that helped us really just let go and relax because we're like, it might never happen again. So we better enjoy it. Now that it's a possibility it'll happen again, we're like, oh, okay. But you never know until you try, and it's worth the investment in your time and effort, because who knows, maybe you will have those people who you can call and go, we're done and we're tired and we're exhausted. This came at such a perfect time for us after so much just dealing with the paper and stuff like that. It was huge. So my husband just pulled up, so that's my sign to go. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.